First, I'm going to start with an overview of the site. This is the ponding that I had proposed. You can see the entrance. I did go with a public street to reduce your costs. I did not do twin homes. I did bay homes that are 20-foot wide and a 30-foot wide lot. So if you want to switch these plug and play twins instead of bays, they'll fit. But the density actually might go down instead of up, depending on the width of the twin homes. The townhomes, you can see I have inset parking with a one-car garage that creates a more sanitized look. Private lane, I have two-way lanes almost everywhere on the development. I didn't want to really do long one-way lanes with the exception of the cul-de-sac, so one-way around that island. You can see a trail through the block to connect through the neighborhood, and then these along the cul-de-sac fan out to open up the open space. I figured there'd be a trail around the pond. I didn't show it yet. The meandering walks add a lot of character and space, and I put a little gazebo at the entrance. I don't know if you want to do that or not. And then we'll go along the main drive here and see what it would look like from the street. Now the trees I'm showing, there are the approximate location of the trees I think that we could save. Now, of course, they're going to be bigger, but you can see I'm fronting the perimeter road. So that creates a warmer feel. So if you were to use twin homes instead of these bays, I would recommend a rear-loaded twin, but we're using the sides of the bays for parking, which makes it a lot more efficient that you wouldn't be able to do with a twin home. So that's where we gain the efficiency of space. Now again, it's more rear-loaded here, so you're seeing the fronts, they are staggered. There's a 5-foot stagger to get a panoramic view. And you can see, you don't see very many parked cars because of those insets. So these units are pretty small. They're 2-bedroom, 1-bath upstairs, small little living area. But again, they're a price point unit. And so when we look at the units, they all have a panoramic view. You can see the inset parking, very efficient on the street, that opens it up for the open space and is likely to save a lot of trees. Now this is natural ground, so there's no reason those trees can't be saved. Now these are landscape trees, they're symbols, but in reality these trees are a lot larger than what they seem, and that low area could be natural. As we go inside these units, you can see that panoramic view. You've got the kitchen as a focal point. There's upstairs to the bedrooms. And I think these were 3-bedroom homes. You've got this side to the patio doors, or a door on the side that could open up. And then you've got the side yard parking. So this is the interior common space. Again, you can see the windows along the side, so people would have a panoramic view from the master bedroom, from the living areas downstairs, and all the porches are connected to a walk system, very walkable neighborhood. And again, here's the side yard parking, so you end up with this rear alley that's very, very clean. It's not an alley with parked cars everywhere, so we're squeezing that distance garage to garage to create that distance porch to porch. And here we are exiting that bay home area. Could be twin homes again, and you get the pond view. So again, the dedicated street, what that does is it puts the burden on the city on this main loop with a single family, so that it's not part of the association fees. You got meandering walks, the scale constantly changes. The homes themselves, the single family homes, are architecturally shaped. They're based on a 35-foot wide product. But as you can see, the inner ones, the scalloped homes, have do not look like a 35-foot product. They are all shaped so they either get wider at the front or wider at the back. And here we could see the meandering walkway. It really does create a park-like setting. And again, the only trees I'm showing are likely the ones that could be saved. They'll be much different looking and probably a lot larger than what I'm showing. But that's the only vegetation on the site. A little area concerned, especially when I'm trying to save the trees, is I really don't like to grade these sites where the home is lower than the street, even though a lot of areas that's acceptable. However, if I didn't do that, none of these trees would be saved. So again, the reason that the grading works this way is to save these trees, if that's important or not. Otherwise, they could be graded a little bit differently. So here's that trail that goes through the blocks, and I just wanted to go over a little bit this oversized cul-de-sac so you can see how the homes flare. They don't necessarily follow the cul-de-sac, and that gives it the sculpted look, and it also prioritizes the inner pie lots to get more of that streetscape of wider homes, so they look far more expensive than they actually are. In fact, it's probably a lot more impressive looking than the single family across the street. And these could also be plug and play two-story, but they're very efficient, fairly compact units. They just don't appear it, and they don't function that way. So we're going to take a look inside the unit and just take a little tour of the inside pie and the outside pie homes to give you a feel of that space. So as we go in, this would normally be a very small corridor. Now it's a fairly functional space. We put the kitchen, again, a focal point, behind those huge windows to get that panoramic view. This is a 3-bedroom home. The master bedroom's in the back. It's got a little inset patio. And then what we've got here is that would be a master bedroom with a panoramic view of the open space. And lastly, this is the outer pie home. And you can see it appears much wider than 35 foot wide because, again, we're using that angle. So it is wider, even though it's on a lot that would normally be for a 35 foot wide home. This is a little den in the front, but the living space flows through the home. And again, the rear kitchen windows overlook the open space, the master bedroom, and bath overlooking the open space.